Hi, this is a Cameo video, a very special Cameo video for a very special guy named Michael. Hello, Michael. This is me, Eddie Deezen. I played Eugene in Greece. I got your beautiful message. Thank you for all your kind words about Greece. And you want to hear all about Greece, so I'm going to tell you pretty much everything well, if I told you everything I knew about Greece, it would take a couple hours. But I'm going to tell you in a nutshell. Might not be so brief, but I want to tell you all the stuff I remember about Greece, the important stuff. Okay, I got Greece. I was not even in the Union. Now, in those days, this was 1977, they had a rule at Screen Actors Guild. You can't be in the union unless you work. You can't work unless you're in the union. It was a horrible catch-22. But I went in and auditioned for Greece, and I got the job, so I lucked out. So Greece got me in the union. I don't even know if I would be in the union or even be an actor without Greece. That's how important it was. Now, how I got Greece and what happened is a very religious story. Michael, I don't know if you're religious, but if you're religious, you'll like this story. If you are secular and you're a non-believer, you can just say, I got a lucky break, because I've told this story 100 times. My religious friends say, oh, it was divine intervention. And my non-religious friends say, you got a lucky break. You lucked out. So maybe it's a combination of both. Anyway, I went in for Greece. I auditioned, okay? There were three guys in the room with me. Alan Carr, the Grease producer, the Grease casting director, Joel Thurm, and the Grease director, Randall Kleiser. I was there, I read for Eugene. I had like maybe, 3 or 4 lines in the movie. Hi, I'm Eugene. Oh, thank you. Then I get hit with the pie, I have my lines. Then I go, hi, I got astigmatism. I walk down the stairs, whatever. I had like 4 lines, 3 or 4 lines. But as I was reading, I noticed they were nudging each other. They were nudging each other, so I could kind of see that, and I thought that was a good sign. Anyway, I got home a couple days later, I think it was. They said, Eddie, you've got the role in Grease. So, of course, I called my parents. I told all my friends, I'm in this movie, Grease, with John Travolta, Olivia Newton-John. It's called Grease. I went crazy. I told everybody and all my friends. Now, a couple days later, Paramount Studios called my agent. They said, Eugene is a small role in the movie. We're going to cut Eddie out of the movie. He's not in Grease anymore. So how do you think I felt? I wanted to jump off a cliff, Not only did I lose my first movie break, the biggest break of my career, but I told everybody, I told my parents and my friends that I'm going to be in the movie, and now I'm going to look like an idiot. So anyway, my agent at the time was a lady named Regina Penner. She was a blonde-haired lady with glasses. I don't know if she's even still around. I don't know, but she was my manager, and she said, Eddie, we're going to go to church and pray. Okay, what the heck? I'm Jewish, but whatever. She comes down and picks me up at my little apartment on Hollywood and Edgemont. We drive up to a church. It's still there in Hollywood. If you ever get to Hollywood, it's called Our Mother of Good Counsel Church. It's off Vermont Avenue in Hollywood. It's across from the House of Pies. But she and I go into church. She goes, we're going to pray at the altar. We're going to light candles at the altar. I'd never done this in my life. She gives me matches. I lit 2 candles at the altar. Michael, I prayed fervently. Please, dear God, let something good happen. Oh, please let something good happen. Please. I prayed fervently. Anyway, a couple days later, Paramount called back. We're putting Eddie back in the movie. We want him back in Greece. So I was put back in Greece. So take that story however you want. It's 100% gospel. It's a true story. You can take it however you want. But that's how I got into Greece, and that's the whole story. John Travolta was the nicest guy in the world. Michael, when I do my first scene, when I walk down the stairs, hi, and the T-Birds mess with me, after every take. Now, John Travolta, he never called me Eddie. John always called me Buddy. He'd always go, hi, Buddy. You okay, Buddy? He'd always call me Buddy. So after every take, the T-Birds would mess with me, mess with my glasses and all, and mess up my tie. And the director would go cut, and John would come over. Are you okay, Buddy? Okay, Buddy? I go, yes, I'm okay. We do take 2. We did 4 or 5 takes, whatever. We did another take. The T-Birds mess with me. They screw me up and mess me up, and I have to walk down the stairs. Cut. John Travolta. You okay, buddy? Do you need anything, buddy? Are you all right, buddy? He'd always make sure I was okay. He was very solicitous. He was like an older brother to me. I loved him so much. He was a wonderful guy. Michael, I have a picture in my mind. I don't even remember the context, but it's a 100% true picture. I remember coming on the Paramount set once. I had a break, and I was licking a chocolate ice cream cone. A little idiot, nobody knew I'm licking my chocolate ice cream cone. John Travolta, as they were there at Paramount, he's surrounded by girls, all these cheerleaders, reporters, all his fans run. He's surrounded by hundreds of people. It was a huge mob around John Travolta. I'm sitting there alone with my ice cream cone. I see out of the corner of my eye, John Travolta comes jogging down from the side. He comes jogging down. Hi, buddy. How are you, buddy? You okay, buddy? He shakes my hand. That story is a commentary on who John Travolta was, what kind of a person he was. He was a very empathetic, kind man with a lot of empathy and compassion. He was a great, great man. I last saw John in 2001. We had the same doctor. Hey, Eddie, he calls me over. Hey, Eddie, how are you? Da, da, da. We talked and caught up a little. That was the last time I saw him. But John Travolta was a prince. He was a wonderful guy. Olivia, I only saw one day on the set. One day, Paramount and I were Paramount. Olivia and I were walking around Paramount Studios. We were just goofing around with 2 other guys. We were walking around, and we see this car. It's the only time I ever hung out with her. We take this car and we hijacked it. Somebody left the keys in the car. So we took the car, we drove it around Paramount Studios, we took a joyride, that's all. We hijacked this car. Olivia, she was in the passenger seat in the front, I was in the passenger seat in the back. She turned to me, Michael, and she goes, "You're funny." And I go, "Thank you." That was the only time I talked to her. The only time I talked to Olivia. Now, when Olivia came out in that scene, Michael, you know, the last carnival scene where she comes out in the black, tight black thing, she had to be sewn into it. It was so tight, she had to be sewn into it. She couldn't go to the bathroom. I don't know how she went to the bathroom. If she did go to the bathroom, they must have like cut it open and she had to go. But I hope she didn't have to go to the bathroom, but she could. She was sewn into it. Every guy in the set was mesmerized. And there were a lot of gays on Grease. The director was gay. The producer was gay. A lot of gay dancer, totally fine. But even they were, every man on the set was like agog. Our jaws just dropped. We saw, you know, this was 1977. We never saw a woman dressed like that sexy. She was really something. Now, maybe nowadays it wouldn't cause that big of an effect, but I remember it was truly electrifying when Olivia came out in that outfit. Anyway, in 2017, I went to Las Vegas with my mom, and we went to see Olivia's show. So Olivia's singing and we're enjoying it. Halfway through the show, Olivia makes an announcement. She goes, I have an old friend here I want you to meet. She signals me. She called me up on stage. I went on stage. I got a standing ovation, Michael. It's like a 2 or 3 minute standing ovation, the longest ovation of my life. I think it's my only standing ovation. And I hugged Olivia. I said, you're still as beautiful as you were in Grease. She said, Eddie, I want you to come up to my room with your mom after the show, and we're going to catch up. So I got the date about her room where she was and all. My mom and I went up after the show. My mom got to meet Olivia, and I love my mom. She was my best friend, and I was so happy she got to meet Olivia. And Olivia and my mom were both angels. They both passed away in the same year, 2022, and they were both angels. And they left a huge void in my life, missing them. I love them both so much. Let's see. Oh, yes, the pie scene where I get hit with a pie, you know. People always say, what kind of pie was that? It was not a pie I get hit with. In my big scene, I get hit with the pie. You're a good pitcher. What's your name? It's Eugene. Oh, thank you. I get hit. That was a plate of whipped cream. Why? Because a pie wouldn't stick to my face. They wanted the thing to stick to my face. If you can see the scene, I get hit and the white sticks on me. That's whipped cream. It wasn't a pie. So I want you to know that. That's a little bit trivia. Oh, yeah. And Michael, my last day on Grease, we were there at the carnival, okay? So Alan Carr, the producer, comes up to me. Eddie, will you get in one of those spinny, twirly rides, you know, and all? We just want to get a quick shot of you. I go, Mr. Carr, I get motion sick. Please, I can't do it. He goes, we just want to get a quick shot of you. This guy. So we went back and forth. But what am I going to say? It's my first film. He's Alan Carr. He's this incredible billionaire producer, whatever. So I got in the ride. They spun me and twirled me around and all. Michael, I got off the ride. I went out into the middle of an empty field and I threw up. That was my last day on Grease, August 2nd, 1977. That was my last day. I threw up my guts out. And if you look at the scene, you'll see this twirly ride spinning around, but you can't see me. I'm a blur. You can't make out anybody on there. So I didn't have to do the scene anyway. I loved all the Grease cast. We all loved each other. And in conclusion, I'm just going to tell you, people always say, Eddie, what was it like filming Grease? And this is how I always answer the question, Michael. I go, do you remember the best party of your life, the most fun party you ever had, just the greatest party ever? I go, imagine that party lasting for 2 months. I go, that's what it was like filming Grease. It was like that, being the greatest party you've ever been into for 2 months. It was a love fest. All the actors, I loved all the actors. I loved all the dancers. I loved all the extras. I loved our producer. I loved our choreographer, Pat Birch. I loved Alan Carr. I loved Randall. I loved Mr. Thurm, our casting director. I loved everybody, and it was the biggest break of my life being in Grease. I've done a lot of other films, you know, The Polar Express or War Games or whatever. 1941, I Want to Hold Your Hand. Steven Spielberg in 1941, I was Mandark and Decker's Laboratory, but the thing everybody remembers me for is Grease. I'm the guy from Grease. If I ever write my autobiography, I should call it The Guy from Grease by Eddie Deezen. Anyway, Michael, I want to wish you luck in your career, too. I hope you achieve all your dreams. You sound like a very, very sweet guy, a very nice guy, and I hope I have the pleasure of meeting you someday. And good luck with your career. You know how tough showbiz is. It's the toughest business in the world, but talented people do make it. You have to have determination. You have to really want it bad and stick to it as long as you can, you know. Try to have a nest egg of money, you know. You can have to buy pictures and all that stuff you need for expenses. And I wish you all the luck in the world, and I hope you achieve all your dreams. Have a happy summer, Michael. I send you all my love. This is Eddie Deezen saying goodbye. Grease is the word.